points on the table with 3 weeks remaining. There's a drought in Charlotte, but they still hold on to the final playoff seed. AV Alta coming thirsty for a win themselves, but they're only 2 points back from catching the Independents. The USL League One, brought to you by Novant Health, is on ESPN+. Hello, welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thanks for joining us. Our Pepsi standings show that Charlotte is sitting in the final seat at the table. Their playoff hopes hang in the balance with a 2-point cushion over a resurgent Madison and a desperate Alta. Everyone in Richmond and Texoma watch carefully because a Charlotte win would eliminate both of them. But for the Jacks, the objective is to take advantage of where they sit. With group confidence, Mike Jeffries is looking for the individual guys to step up and set the standard and fuel the energy, like they did back in May, the last time these two played on the 24th. It was a much different time and a much different table the last time these two played. AV Alta were just barely above the playoff line, while Charlotte were in a top 2 slot heading into this match. A halftime equalizer by Alexis Cerritos would take things 1-1 at the break, but a late game winner would seal the game in the 82nd minute from Eduardo Blancas and Antelope Valley. But for Charlotte, since then, it's been a bit of a back and forth. They've been opportunistic all year long. Charlotte has had the chance to capitalize dominant against non-playoff teams this season. However, they've been stifled by top competition. And a top 4 Chattanooga and Naples wrap up the season. They'll need to take advantage tonight against AV Alta, who are struggling to say the least. Their 13-game winless drought has occupied half of their 27 matches. With early momentum, they've been stuck in a ditch. Brian Claben pressuring the guys, stating tonight is a playoff game. Everyone needs to embrace the roles and focus on the brand of football. And sometimes, in order to turn these droughts around, they need to find a spark and create something new. A goalkeeper change can do just that. Our player to watch, sponsored by Gatorade, is Namal Knight, who has locked things down defensively since taking the net from Matt Levy. Experience and command in the back has allowed the 31-year-old to have early returns in Charlotte. 4 goals allowed in 3 matches, looking to hold up while the offense has room to work. But the Jacks will have to see a veteran keeper also with AV Alta's Carlos Aviles. The 7-year pro has backstopped Alta in their last win on July 5th against Union Omaha. With over 130 matches played as a pro, Aviles looks to lead the way to get AV Alta out of the slide and into the top 8. 2 teams who are struggling but look to flip the switch in the final 3 games of the season. 3 weeks to go, 3 points on the table, coming to a head at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Lineups and kickoff are next.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
When it comes to delivering high-quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is every single time you take a bite, you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches. There's no touching it.
We take a look at our starting 11s brought to you by Capelli Sports. We start with the Charlotte Independents. 2 changes since their match against Spokane Velocity. Moreno starts his first match since August 2nd. He's with the team's leading goal scorer and playmaker in Cheney and Baquero respectively. And Jai didn't play last time versus Spokane. He's still hoping to contribute with his career-high 4 goals on the season. The back 4 remains unchanged. This is the 3rd straight match for him all night. He has 1 goal allowed in the last 2 between Spokane and Knoxville. For AV Alta, they made a trio of changes since their 1-1 draw against Texoma. Blancas is the top goal scorer as the lone forward in the 4-2-3-1. Cerritos, he buried the game-tying goal against Texoma and one of the 2 to start the comeback against Charlotte back in May. He's earned his 59th match starts in USL League One. Ramos, the 19-year-old, is the lone addition to the back 4 to help out Carlos Aviles as Denzel Smith is on international duty with Trinidad and Tobago. There's a feeling in the air tonight at American Legion Memorial Stadium where the Charlotte Independents, they are the last team in. The number 8 seed, only 2 points of cushion against number 9 Madison and number 10 AV Alta, who both sit 2 points behind Charlotte in the 2025 table. Both with opportunities to not only claim their spot in the top 8, but for AV Alta, maybe a chance to have the first playoff berth in their inaugural season. For Charlotte, they've been perfect since joining USL League One. A postseason berth every single year they've been in the league, but they're at risk of falling out if AV Alta can maybe shock the world and shock Charlotte in the 3rd to final game in the 2025 League One season. Charlotte Independents coming off back-to-back losses, while AV Alta look to climb out of their 13-game winless drought as Charlotte begins with the ball right to left to right in the all blue, right to left are AV Alta. They're in the white today as we begin here at American Legion Memorial Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. A cool, calm 63-degree day, but a lot of heat expected on the pitch for 2 teams who are reeling, to say the least. Coming off of heartbreaking results are Charlotte, an 80-plus minute game-winning goal against Spokane, drop points last time out on what could have been a draw into a loss. Well, AV Alta, they had to scratch and claw their way into a 92nd minute game-tying goal against Texoma on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive. And instead of making the uphill climb that much steeper, had they dropped those points against Texoma, especially for AV Alta, struggling offensively going into that Texoma match, and again here with only 1 goal scored in nearly full 4 games, 13 minutes shy of that, 347 if you want to be exact. Spielman interrupts the pass, can't get around Walmer Martinez, trying to play keep away on Electo Cerritos, and it'll make its way back to him all night. Deep try returns to AV Alta, who are still in the mix despite a drought that would not only be monumental in comparison, but would possibly take most teams out. But Brian Claben continues to preach the emphasis of how much this brand of football that they've been practicing and preaching all year long has finally had a chance to maybe kick in, especially with more teams having more tape on them and still trying to put some pieces together, not due to any sort of inexperience or any bad performance, just guys going in and out of the lineup. Multiple injuries have forced Alta to switch things around at many points, including today a pair of changes in their starting 11. However, both of the changes made with Alaribe and Seha, they make their way on the bench in part to not only have fresh rotation for these final 3 matches, but to really exploit some matchups as well. Baquero looked to do the same as he works on Osvaldo Ley. Deep ball chucked towards Jaime. Can't get around Juan David Moreno looking for a lane. Cheney the return. Falls back, has help. Jaime to center. Header in front. Looking for a foul or Charlotte, but it'll pass. And then the delayed whistle comes after Juan David Moreno took a tumble inside of the penalty area and was unable to get anything to capitalize cross by Jaime, had a little late contact there by Pelivanov to get contact on Moreno. Granted, you also have a bit of a significant height discrepancy between Moreno and Pelivanov. Pelivanov at 6'3", 176 over the 5'8" Colombian Juan David Moreno. Just naturally speaking, you might have some of that difference maybe resulting in some of the contact towards that upper area on Moreno. Ramos sliding by as Lay can't get by Jaime as Sis tries to work with Baquero, only to be disrupted by Wilmer Martinez. Alexis Cerritos makes the pivot, has scored not only the game time goal against Texoma last time out, also scored the last time these two played. It was the first of the two goals that ignited the two-goal comeback for AV Alta. Both of them coming after the 45th minute. Cerritos' goal came at stoppage time in the first half to maybe change up some of the momentum of that game with AV Alta and Charlotte. It could have been a Charlotte 1-0 lead going to the halftime back at the hangar. However, the home side in that game, AV Alta, would respond in the first half stoppage time to conclude the first half at 1-1, and might have changed the tone in the second set of 45, where AV Alta would eventually win the first head-to-head between Charlotte and AV Alta by a final score of 2-1, as we mentioned in the open. Two times these teams will meet. This is the second of those. As the long ball's attempted, Cerritos might be alone. Pardon, that's not Cerritos. That was cut down by Sebastian Cruz, but he was offside. Trying to utilize the wings was a point of emphasis for Brian Claben in this head-to-head with Charlotte, seeing that he might have had some of the matchup opportunities, especially on the widths. This Charlotte Independence match is presented by Novant Health. Proud to be an official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independence. With same-day and next-day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online, novanthealth.org. Cruz at the center stripe, trying to lead Desdoon. Held back as Desdoon chases, but miscommunication as Jaime will watch it cross the sideline. And that's a collision between two physical players in USL League One, with Christian Cheney, one of the most intimidating box forces in the entirety of USL League One. It's going to be a really interesting matchup the entire way through with Miguel Pajaro and Christian Cheney, especially with what Cheney can do inside of the box. The way that he navigates, the way that he can find those headers, use the frame that he has to not only draw defenders in, but overpower them at times. Pajaro, a very similar build, and that might be the head-to-head that we see. A little bit of delayed pressure on Adewale forces the ball out of play as we take our first look at Mike Jeffries on the sideline for Charlotte. Talking about how in the Spokane match, they didn't really do enough, wall a man up in that opening half an hour. And after that red card came, he noted that there wasn't enough urgency, something that Brian Claben's side has been desperate for. They've had some really big deficiencies at various points, at various positions on the pitch, especially whenever changes come in those second halves where they've been lackluster offensively at points, but something they can pick up, especially with guys just taking the challenge of roles and opportunity. Desdoon can't get around. Njai breaks it up. Jai can't get there, so it's taken back by Alta. Sebastian Cruz. Blancas going deep towards Cruz. Only Sorensen there. Vaquero wanted to start the pivot, but had a trio of white jerseys on him, so he'll bank it out of play. USL is on CBS Sports as they close out October with a championship Western Conference showdown. Playoff-bound New England United take on Oakland Roots SC. Sunday, October 19th, 5 p.m. Eastern on CBS SN. New Mexico United, Oakland Roots SC, two of the top dogs in the Western Conference of the championship. Osvaldo Ley gets a yellow card as that whistle comes in for the first booking of the match. Just had a little contact there on Chris Jaime, trying to utilize the center lane. Ley, 22 years old in his first season in the United States, having spent the last 2 seasons at the top of the Panamanian pyramid with San Miguelito. Moreno wanted to force it forward towards Jaime, but it gets booted out of play and will draw a Charlotte throw-in. The spot of the ball might actually benefit Charlotte. Dimmick loads up deep. Ricochet in the box, can't find anyone in blue, so Jaime will corral. And go again. So interesting to see kind of the falls that these two teams have seen over the last several months, especially when these two were within the top 3 of the league right around July, where they eventually were in that 2-3 slot in the USL League One table, and then you just had all sorts of conundrums and issues that slowly derailed the seasons for both Charlotte and Alta. Despite being some of the best in their respective identities and what they wanted to do for Charlotte, just get as many chances towards the goal as possible, find ways to be creative offensively. But they have been stonewalled time in and time out, especially over the last several matches, losing their last 4, all by a 1-0 scoreline. So the bar is not high, but just haven't reached it. Crossing, Desdoun, not quite there as he scraps with Jaime. Jaime walks away. Cheney took contact, and there'll be another whistle made by our head official, John Mato, in the red. Brian Marshall, Aaron Riley, the assistant referees, John Rush is the 4th official. They're all in red today, trying to direct traffic for 2 teams who have a near combined 150 yellow cards between them in this season. 72 for Charlotte, 76 for Alta. Down the line, Anton Sorensen joins the attack, but he's bodied by Palavanov. Down he goes. This will draw a whistle and a free kick for Charlotte. Sorensen trying to use a little more of that boundary to get around the center back Palavanov as they met each other and went down to ground. Vaquero Moreno on the far side. Dozen minutes in, now 13. Vaquero, not there. Desdoun sweeps it away. Only 20 seconds after that last free kick was served in, Charlotte get a chance to go again. This was the tackle on Cheney on Steven Ramos, and there's a bit of a mismatch there just based on experience. The 31-year-old Cheney's been on the block for a bit in USL League One, kind of taking advantage of the 19-year-old, not just in frame but experience also, to draw that last free kick. Caro Moreno once more, this time on the near side. Baquero, back post. Header up in the air, but it will be offside. Pepsi Cola is the official soft drink of the Charlotte Independents. Enjoy ice cold Pepsi while watching the Jacks. Pepsi is born in the Carolinas. Jerry Desdune was feeling a bit of the heat from Juan David Moreno, so he lets it go. Spielman prevents the progress of Walmer Martinez. Sis. Well short of Moreno, so Desdune will get dragged down. Play on, they say. So 2 takedowns right around the center circle. The second one was the one that will draw the free kick. You had this first one on Desdune where he goes down, but the play doesn't end there as Cerritos was chopped down the second time. For Desdune and Cerritos, 2 guys who have been around the block in USL League One. Cerritos spending the last couple of seasons just kind of circumnavigating the USL League One with Lexington last year, Central Valley Fuego the 2 before. Into the box, loose, it's in front, and they clear it off. However, the verdict was offside. It does not matter, but a great opportunity regardless for AV Alta. Blancas, a nice service to the back post, and no one was there except for Pajaro. The clearance off the line by Christian Cheney was enough to prevent Lay from getting a touch, but the offside flag does help too. But what an effort by Cheney to get it off the line regardless. I want to talk about a man who takes advantage from box to box. 99 can certainly be that. Predominantly in the offensive box, but that time he got all the way back on the defensive side of that set piece as Cheney holds on once more with Baquero. Can't outrace Cruz. Knight, well outside of his box, has started the last 3 games consecutively for the Independents. Something that Mike Jeffries said was something that wasn't something he wanted to do, but it was something he had to do. Just trying to find a way to create a spark for a Charlotte side that when Knight did take the net, they were on a 4-game losing run and only had 1 win in 12 games as Moreno sprinting near side. Looks for options, trying to escape a double team, maybe drawing a penalty, but didn't do so. Wasn't enough contact, nearly. So Blancas circles back to keep Alta in possession. Interrupted, Anton Sorensen. Jaime. Sorensen crisscrosses, he's towards goal, but it's headed out by Pajaro, and this will be the opening corner of the match. Miguel Pajaro really getting in the mix of it, especially with Sorensen trying to contribute on the back end. Only 1 goal on the year for Sorensen on opening weekend against the Richmond Kickers. but this will give our first Chick-fil-A corner of the match. And just like with darn near every set piece from this point forward, it'll be John Vaquero and Juan David Moreno. No driver doesn't go there. Follow-up from Sorensen is way off the mark. Blue Cross Blue Shield NC is the official insurance provider of the Charlotte Independents. Blue Cross NC makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans across Blue Cross NC. Better care starts here. Alta might need to start taking better care of the ball at this point. They've given it away in some prime opportunities, especially on the offensive side. Not so precise on the passing so far. But Moreno steals it back from the youngster Ramos. Sis helping out. Can't get by as Alassane joins the breakup. Cerritos. Dimmick ahead. It's been a tough run of it on the road for AV Alta. Only 2 wins on 13 matches that they've traveled, and it's definitely a task when going at one of the corners of the nation in LA County. Cruz lets it fall, tries to get around. Sorensen all over him. Cruz creative return feed. Martinez if he wants it. Pelavanov and Lay up top. Njai dislodges, return to AV Alta. Desdune opens up room. Martinez cuts it down, Blancas. Pass not there for Cerritos. Njai gets around his man and might start a break for the Jacks. Interrupted. Pelavanov using that lengthy 6'3" reach to jar it loose. Not high enough to break past the barrage in blue as Martinez fights back after he coughed it up. October, a big month in the USL League One, especially for Charlotte and AV Alta. Not just because many of the guys on this roster have fall birthdays, especially in the October to November range, but the possibility of points in this final 3 games absolutely paramount. With Charlotte in the number 8 seed, only 2 points above the number 9-10. Deadlock between Madison and AV Alta. And everyone in both Richmond and Texoma watching carefully, because if Charlotte can take the lead and hang on, a win would eliminate them both. Vaquero might beat off Pelavanov. Tried to cut it back, but Pelavanov takes advantage of Vaquero's lost footing, and then Njai with contact on Martinez. More of a 50-50 ball between Walmer Martinez and Bashir Njai, but Martinez is gone to grass, or turf in this case rather, as nothing really there. That was just a matter of Njai having Martinez lost in the jumble. USL Championship is in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish-speaking sports network. Charleston Battery take on Birmingham Legion Saturday, October 25th at 5 Eastern on 2DN. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. This time it's Vaquero with Sorensen. Stayed on the ground, and Cruz will take over. Plenty of green grass. Cruz waits for help. And this is something you can expect from Brian Claiborne's unit. You're going to expect possession. You're going to expect guys to circle back and find ways to help each other out. Desdoon inside, returned. How efficient can the possession be is the big question for AV Alta. Yes, they are one of the top teams in the league in terms of possession percentage. However, they're one of the bottom 5 in scoring attempts. Trying to attempt it towards Desdoon, but interrupted by Adewale, will make its way to Amal Knight. Amal Knight coming to Charlotte a little over 2 months ago, since playing in the Nepali League. As a long ball goes, Moreno, Baquero's alone, he scores! Baquero by himself, he's on the board first, and Charlotte strike in the 25th. Turn down the lights and lay down your head. John Baquero gets on the board first. His 3rd of the season, the first for Charlotte. They're on the board, and Richmond and Texoma can only watch in devastation as Moreno capitalizes off of the header from Cheney to get behind the youngster Ramos. Baquero gets lost in the box. Easy strike home, and it's a no-doubter for John Baquero, as Palovanov could not recover in time and Aviles could not get in position to get to the bottom right. Goalie's bottom right, at least. A pair of assists against the Richmond Kickers in the middle of September for Baquero. And he's got the first one for Charlotte. Something they have not done in quite some time, as our first goal is brought to you by Batero Carts. The last time they scored first was in that Richmond game in September. The last time they won 3 matches ago, but how do Alta respond? Opening things up, Osvaldo Ley, Cruz, Baquero broken up. Desdoon interrupts the clearance, Ramos blocks as well. Jaime returns, Dimmick, goodbye. A very smart and savvy player was how Mike Jeffries categorized John Baquero, especially with how he can not only help others improve, but when the time comes, it's not often, but he's a guy that looks for prime opportunities, and when he has them, he is not shy to take them. Injuries provided some inconsistency earlier on the year for Baquero, but he's come out of form since he's been healthy the last couple of months. Christian Cheney roadblocked as he was quadruple teamed and couldn't get the feed for Ajay. Looking for Cruz towards the 18. Jaime escorts it out. Jaime helps out to at least free things up as Palovanov and Cheney chase. Martinez. Gets it back, trying to lead the way. Cerritos lost the handle, slides it. Can't connect to Cruz. Knight in the way, Cerritos cannot get it. And when he was juggling that ball, you knew that halted all of his momentum. He had a chance to work down the gut, beating out the defense. When he lost the handle, that whole possession was lost. Charlotte Independence is proud to share their home field with Carolina Ascent, the new Division I women's pro soccer team. For more info on the Gamebridge Super League and this team, visit CarolinaAscent.com. Another foul against Christian Cheney. This will go against Alassane, who is already on a dozen yellows this year, if you include that one. Nothing would happen to Alassane because the suspension for yellow card accumulation is 11, so he's already dealt with that earlier in the year. And Alassane just got his hands up. Especially with that shoulders up area on an imposing figure like Cheney. And this will allow another distance service. We're at the half-an-hour mark. Charlotte's already up by a goal. Baquero, the goal scorers, with Juan David Moreno again on the service. As you just have almost everyone wearing white along that 18-yard line. Moreno goes short, but the service is caught by Aviles. Veteran keeper in League One, Carlos Aviles, 7 years pro, including 6 of them in the USL League One ecosystem. Charlotte catching a couple breaks early in this opening half-an-hour plus. Already 7 fouls of 9 in this game have favored the Independents. That's for a team in AV Alta who are top 5 in whistles against them. Charlotte, very disciplined group. One of the teams who have had the fewest fouls against them. Jai coughs it up, Sebastian Cruz. Defenders all over, looking for space. Cruz can't connect Cerritos. Strike from deep, Alassane, partial flub, and then blocked away and sent out. The good news for both Charlotte and AV Alta, neither of them can clinch or be eliminated tonight or even this weekend. There are scenarios that are one of many that could help out either Portland or Tormenta clinch. But at that point, you're reaching a point where for the Hearts and for the Ibises, you need 3, maybe 4 scenarios to all go your way. Cerritos in the middle. Lays it off, Martinez. Hesitates, Osvaldo Ley. Wanted to roll low, can't connect with Desdune. As Njai struggles to escape, so Sorensen will do just that. Pajaro in a conundrum against Cheney. Hangs to Cheney as Charlotte waits for help. Sis. Jaime had room and last banked off him on the Ramos clearance. Charlotte Independent storefront is live. Stock up on our next match on scarves, hats, shirts, and more. To shop on the new online storefront, visit charlotteindependence.myshopify.com. Cruz and Martinez. Des Dunes in front, but Amal Knight got in the way. Was he outside the box? He dropped it just in time. And Knight gets the clearance afterward.
We're at the 30-minute mark, which means it's time for all halftime contestants to make their way to the Gatorade Tower.
Carlos Avila streaking by to get the throw in and the ball back in play, and a lot of interesting plays with the ball with the goalkeepers as Cruz can't get around Sorensen. Between that drop down by Amal Knight and Carlos Avila is taking the throw in. Those were two very unique plays of the ball, to say the least. Especially when everyone on not only AV Alta's field but their bench while clamoring for maybe a handball against Knight. Sorensen back on his feet for Jaime. Dimmick the assistance. Jaime gives it a go. Widens. Dimmick back in front. Moreno loads up and blocked by Lay. Baquero helps out, not before Cruz clears. Walmer Martinez disrupted by Sorensen. Njai. John Baquero to center. Cheney scores! Christian Cheney, signature on the dotted line, doubles down for the Independents. What a service by John Baquero. This helps, especially when you had Sorensen jarring the ball loose to win possession back. And then you just have a jump ball in the box at the 6 when Baquero serves us in. You have Cheney going full steam ahead, just jumping through the air, and Aviles, he was gonna get caught one way or another. Cheney cuts inside of Aviles. Aviles can't get position on Cheney. And at that point, what can you do against a 5-time double-digit goal scorer in Christian Cheney? That's his 16th goal in all competitions, as that's our second Batero Cards goal in this game. Baquero from Moreno opened up the scoring, and Cheney for Baquero to make it 2. And for John Baquero, he is working his way up the leaderboard in USL League One in the Golden Playmaker race. Not a lot of major threats in the major awards for either of these two teams. Christian Cheney now number 2 in the league with a dozen in the regular season. Moreno leads. Baquero pivots back. Njai, Sis. Sorensen service disrupted Martinez. This will sputter out of play. If you're Richmond or Texoma, look away, because Charlotte are up by 2. It would not only provide a great increase in the cushion for the Jacks, but it would threaten the 2025 season for the Kickers and Portland, as this one is struck towards goal and wide. Pardon, that was Texoma and Richmond. Portland looking to clinch. Select is the official match ball provider of the USL Championship, from the Academy to the big league. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Spielman took over a jump ball from Martinez, but AV Alta take possession back. Des Dune on the near side. He's been struggling to get free of Chris Jaime all game long, and now Moreno assisting too. However, remains with Alta. Des Dune fighting through. Spent his last stint in USL League Two with Ventura County after not being on a pro roster last year. and has seen this league before with the 2022 Northern Colorado Hailstorm team. Has returned to League One after a hiatus, not only pro soccer, but within this third division. Cruz holds on, Blancas waits, he fires, blocked, Desdune. Support comes from Ramos. Jaime just lodges, Moreno leads the charge. And that's foot on foot as Njai got a clip. Lay goes to ground, and that's an Njai yellow. This is really, it's an innocent play, all things considered, but you come in, studs up, and you get a very clear step on the foot of Lay. That's going to draw a yellow. Five minutes remain in the opening half. We have seen stoppage time heroics between these two before. A stoppage time goal in the first half tied things up at 1 last time these two played. It flipped the momentum of that match as Blancas gets ready into the box. A block in blue as Jaime gets it across the center line. Charlotte emphasizing just playing direct, making sure that they don't get too comfortable in the D, as that was in front for a potential tap-in, but it was offside as Cerritos got behind the D. And that is not the first time Alexis Cerritos has been offside in this game. The long ball by Cruz, it's a nice thought, but it was the touch. It was the touch in front. Cerritos got behind after the deflection by Desdune on the header. And that cancels whatever hope Alta had in that last position specifically. Pajaro had to be careful as he went a little high on that attempted clearance, but Pelavanov will assist on the recovery. Deep ball, Desdune, no defender on him. Chips it back, taps it in. And this time it's not offside. This one will count. Cerritos gets one back for AV Alta.
AV Alta goal by Ronald Alexis Cerritos.
After being offsides twice, Cerritos gets one and he is onside. All the defense shifts to Desdune, and Cerritos is alone at the top of the box with no one there. It is Adewale and Dimmick who both gravitate to the outside, and they leave Cerritos all alone for a tap-in. And now this is a brand new game at 2-1, under 5 minutes to go in the half. That's goals in back-to-back for Alexis Cerritos. Got the 92nd minute game-tying goal against Texoma, as this goal is brought to you by Patera Cards. All the soccer action you want and the flexibility you need. Keep your eye out on Charlotte Independence channels to be the first to hear about the flex plans. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. Maybe a chance to double up our AV Alta. Centering feed, Walmo Martinez looks for options, Ramos. Tangled, taken down. But it's against Steven Ramos. You could have made an argument that Jaime might have committed a penalty had it been ruled inside of the box. You see Ramos, you see Jaime, they're just on the edge. but many times the whistles can tend to favor the home teams, especially down the stretch. Sometimes in the playoffs, that might be the case also. Header goes free, Baquero, he's all alone. Holds up as defense comes back for Alta. Throw in the final 2 minutes for Charlotte before we take to stoppage. And Sorensen's cut down. Join us at American Legion Memorial Stadium October 17th, a week from today, as the ride continues against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. First kick is at 7, gates open at 6. What a fantastic match that'll be if Charlotte can't get right again. Showed the graphic in the open about how they perform against playoff teams. It hasn't been great, but if there's anyone to maybe get right, it's the non-playoff teams where they've dominated, as Baquero scoops it. Cerritos gets it out. Jaime back in. Pajaro the assistance, and he'll return to Charlotte on a throw-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Only 2 extras in this opening set of 45. As our stoppage time is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield NC. Jaime down the line from Dimick. And for Cerritos, what a way to celebrate your first week as a 25-year-old. Two days after the Texoma match, gets the game-tying goal and gets another goal in this one too. As Cheney pivots, Baquero! A bouncer goes right towards Aviles as he had a chance to volley that one home. But the kick by Aviles partially scuffed, and Jai keeps it for Charlotte. Despite the slide, Mike Jeffries had a very simple warning for his guys, that these guys have been in every game they played in, much like themselves. And sometimes those are the teams that can be the most dangerous, knocking at the door and can't bust in. Not because they can't bust in, but they know that the chances are there. It's just that final touch maybe isn't. Charlotte have been all over the ball in this opening half, including 6 shots attempted. Moreno settles, Njai waits, takes, blocked. Is it a handball? No whistle. Jaime. Back from Dimick, into the box. But Alassane pokes it out and gets it free.
Corner kick for the Jacks. Corner kicks are brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
As this was the return by Njai, and they're trying to argue maybe Lay got the handball, but no, it's that one that was closest to the shooter. It was tucked in. I can't really see the argument there, but good news for Charlotte. They're still on the ball with a Chick-fil-A corner. Way high for Spielman, and that was offside. And with that whistle, we are done through 45. A 2-goal lead amassed by Charlotte, but AV Alta has dug in to make it 2-1 into the half. And what a different game this is if this is 2-0, but it is 2-1 at the half. And for AV Alta, there's still a chance to maybe get out of the slide, but Charlotte are in control with a 2-1 lead. More from the USL and League One when we come back.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is every single time you take a bite, you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches. There's no touching it.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive,
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m.
Coming up next as well.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
We return to Charlotte where they're up 2-1 on AV Alta. This Charlotte Independence match is presented by Novant Health, proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independence. With same day and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online, novanthealth.org. Week number 31 in USL League One was quite a doozy. So many matchups, so many points on the table, so many important changes going on within the mix. Carlos Morancia was playing like an MVP in this league with what he's done in goal for Spokane Velocity. One of the many reasons why they're within the top four pretty much since the jump of the 2025 season. And he's been so consistent for Spokane. They remain in the top 3 slots. And although neither Charlotte or AV Alta had won on the team of the week, there is a lot going on in the coach of the month with Mark McKeever since taking over in Tormenta with 4 wins in 4 matches in the month of September, bringing in that Knoxville defense that has really remedied some of the issues of Tormenta defensively. But we go through some of the best of the month of September. We also go through some of the best within the USL in match week 31.
Great play to get this forward from midfield. Madison cutting towards the 18, waves it off, an opportunity. Cuts to the inside and fires this. What a finish in the 20th minute. It's 1-0 forward Madison. An absolute golazo for the Flamingos.
Big part of why this has been a shutout thus far. That shot is saved by Lalo Delgado. It somehow got through. Play on, nice touch. Chance for Spokane. It's Nico Brett.
Robles hooking it over the top, falls for Mensa, and there is life for Greenville.
Prosper Kasim. Laid off to the top of the box.
Just played into the box, knotted down, but not out. The shot takes a deflection and goes in, and Tormenta takes the lead.
In the USL, shovels in the ground mean as much as scoring goals. And Sacramento Republic is on its way to transforming the city's rail yard district into a soccer palace. The same is happening in the Motor City, with Detroit City's new home clearing way for stadium construction. Miami FC has unveiled its future home in South Florida, while the Pittsburgh Riverhounds prepare for their stadium expansion, preserving one of the best views in all of sports. The growth is felt as well in League One, with expansion on the way for 2026. The scene changes daily at the site of Fort Wayne's new home, from clearing the area in early June to the sweet site of concrete and steel in mid-September. All watched closely by Fort Wayne's Director of Communication, Justin Cohn.
Thousands of people literally drive past this thing every day. So how cool is it for everyone to get a chance to see this thing every single day get closer?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's ideally located for people going to and from work, or they're driving down to Indianapolis, and you're seeing it in really at a rapid pace come up. So you're really seeing a lot of the facade of what will be the stands start to come up.
I look at the renderings. First thing I notice is this gigantic video board. So give me some of the neat things about that, because this might be the best thing in League One for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreboard is something I'm really excited about. It'll be the second longest scoreboard in the entire state. So that means it eclipses an NFL stadium. You're going to have a lot of options at Fort Wayne FC Park in terms of watching the matches. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do with the scoreboard.
Fellow League One expansion club Boise is seeing its vision take shape as construction at the park at Expo, Idaho is full speed. And longtime League One club Greenville Triumph has kicked off construction at Bridgeway Station.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
On me. Tell them this like it.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan out take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
Returning to Charlotte, where they're off to the races after one half of play. Charlotte's up 2-1 on AV Alta. Play from the USL and League One as we look at our news and notes from around the USL. Sarasota Paradise taking Richmond assistant Mike Ilovara as the first head coach in its inaugural season for Sarasota. And that's not the only expansion news, as AC Boise has another star of the U.S. national team in its investment pool. Boise native Sofia Huerta joining the Boise ownership group ahead of the inaugural season. We've already seen that with Gio Reyna with Fort Lauderdale United. And part of the International and Tobago international squad includes Denzel Smith of AV Alta. Well, we got a chance to preview who were the nominees of Player of the Month. It's really been a big month for the Birds, the Ibises. Mark McKeever leads the way as Coach of the Month. For the Owls, Sergio Ors-Navarro gets in there with 5 goals and back-to-back braces for the Owl in Omaha. As we make our way around the scores, brought to you by Courtyard Marriott around the USL and League One. Knoxville and Portland currently ongoing. Portland looking to clinch into the playoffs. We're in 1 Knox. They're trying to get into the top 4 and maybe even take a chance at the #1 overall seed when it's all said and done. And in terms of seeding, there was a lot going on around the entire USL League One. Madison will play Chattanooga. That's not only Madison going into top 8, but Chattanooga looking to push into the #1 as well. We go back to halftime in the standings, brought to you by Pepsi. And as we mentioned earlier, this is including today's game. So the 2-point cushion for Charlotte has now jumped to 5, and that's assuming that they do hold on. For Charlotte, they were 5 points behind Tormenta going into today, but neither team can clinch. Lot still to go in not only the table, but in this match, as the second set of 45 between Charlotte and AV Alta concludes on the other end of this break.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
We return to Charlotte, where the Independents have lead on AV Alta at the half, opening up at the 25-minute mark. This is just a beautiful goal kick from Amal Knight. The header by Cheney assisted the rest of the way, and this is just Moreno out hustling Ramos to get the elevation towards the center of the box, where Baquero was by himself. No one in the zip code for Baquero to get his 3rd goal of the season and the first of this game. And this was right after a turnover at the center stripe where Charlotte would take over. And when you're Carlos Aviles, you have Christian Cheney barreling right into your face. It can really put Aviles in a bit of a bind, and Cheney was able to capitalize right before the end of the half in the 42nd after many times offsides for Cerritos. He gets the tap in off the assistance from Des Dune. As we also quickly look at our Novant Health halftime stats. Pretty even, all things considered, at least AV Alta, they're possessing. There's not a lot of purpose there. They haven't really generated a lot of shots, only the one shot on target. Charlotte, though, they've really made things count. A pair of corners, 8 shots attempted in the first half, and it's really helped them so far in that opening 45 as we return to American Legion Memorial Stadium. It is the number 8 versus the number 10 in the League One table as AV Alta start with the ball in the second half, left to right in the white. Blue for Charlotte, they are right to left. Ryan Lena, entire ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us as AV Alta are a goal down, but they are also down bad. The hex of 13 unbeaten, of 13 winless, including 6 losses. Ramos holds up, trying to maybe open some things in this first minute for Alta. A lot of the struggles for AV Alta during the stretch have been offensively. Same goes for Charlotte, but down the line, Lay can't get the cross as Njai was there, but it does give AV Alta their first corner of the match. Didn't have any corners in the opening 45. So this is the first Chick-fil-A corner for Wilmer Martinez. Alassane subbed out for Alaribe by Atlas Chiropractic at the halftime. Cruz coming to assist with Martinez. Deep ball, but outside of the post and somehow stayed in. Chipping it back the other way as Ramos, this time he beats out Moreno, and the stoppage is because Moreno got a grapple of Ramos on the attempted escape. The good news for Charlotte is they are perfect when they have a halftime lead. 10 times they've done that this season, 3 draws and 7 wins when they go into the locker room ahead. However, AV Alta, they have been able to strip points away in the second half. They've done that many times throughout the year. As you have a Alta player down, this is Water Blancas. One of the top offensive contributors for this AV Alta side, 22 years old, from the Town FC in MLS Next Pro, which is where he spent the last 3 years of his career. Has had, at minimum, 9 goal contributions in all of his 4 seasons as a pro, both in Next Pro and League One. And Blancas prepared to serve. Cruz. Blancas again, but no one in the area. Martinez lost his footing, but Baquero unable to capitalize. So as mentioned before, Emmanuel Alaribe is a substitute right at the halftime break. That is not necessarily a like-for-like swap. That's midfielder for forward, as this is headed forward for Alaribe, just not quite there. Too high for the 6-foot flat forward from Nigeria. He is 1 match away from 125 in his pro career, both in AV Alta and the 4 years he spent prior in Moldova. Cheney frees it up. Moreno from range is saved by Aviles.
Shot by Juan David Moreno. Saved by Aviles.
Moreno trying to get in after assisting on the Baquero goal to open up the scoring. That was his 5th goal contribution on the season for the 24-year-old Moreno. And that was a giveaway by Alta. miscommunication gives a freebie to Charlotte, and they'll get their first Chick-fil-A corner of the second half. There's a group confidence, a group belief that things can get done. Mike Jeffries has been looking for individuals to step up, set the standard, and get things going. He's seen a lot of that. Baquero, a goal and an assist, is the short option for Moreno, who has had the services. Baquero to center, chopped down, it's loose, still in the mix, but Avila is able to get free and cover up. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get your tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket for great seats. And what a lovely environment this is in Charlotte, especially with not just the Jacks, but the ascents of the Super League as well. For the independents, they're trying to maintain perfection in USL League One. And then come the winter time, the Carolina Ascent in defense of their Players' Shield winning campaign in the inaugural Gamebridge Super League. Martinez cuts it down. He's got help in Cruz. A lot of lateral movement from AV Alta. They keep it up, opening space. Martinez from Blancas. Charging forward, gives it a goal from range, but it's easy for Amal Knight. 55 games in USL League One for Knight, over 220. A decade professional since he started his career in the Jamaican Premier League, his home country, for the 31-year-old. He was out of soccer for about 5 months after he wrapped up in Nepal. Quarterfinals of the Super League in Nepal with Chitwan. Martinez, 2 men on him, Baquero lets Sis take it. The twirl by Moreno, Jaime's free. Jaime wanted to roll it towards Cheney before it was cut off by Pelivanov. Moreno still hustling. Wanted Cheney again. But Alta not having it. Cerritos forcing his way back to draw the turnover. AV Alta's side will have to rely on a lot of these young players stepping up for one of the youngest rosters in USL League One. Going through their lumps is just part of the process, but they are not out of the mix completely. Going into the day, they were 2 points behind Charlotte in the #8 slot. But Alta take it back. Lay returns from Cerritos. Distance try is just missed. What a try by Jerry Desdune, but just off the mark by a thin margin. And you had a chance for a lay, but Desdune gave it a go himself. One of the top chance creators in the league. He's top 3 in that mark, and with that stoppage, Ryan Claben wants to reach into the bench again with Christian Ortiz replacing Sebastian Cruz for the second of the Atlas Chiropractic substitutions. Charlotte Independence is proud to share their home field with Carolina Ascent, the new D1 women's pro soccer team. For more info about the exciting new Super League and the Ascent, visit carolinaascent.com. Christian Ortiz, 24-year-old back, formerly of Loyola Marymount in the NCAA, where he actually spent a year in Nisa with the Arizona Monsoon before coming to League One this offseason. And then we have a tangle up. Is there going to be a card after this? Pajaro. He's not on a card, but Lay was in that jumble up, and he is on a card. Every time you go head-to-head with Christian Cheney, you're asking for trouble, especially when you make contact before the ball comes. But that's what you're going to expect from the captain Pajaro, to take the hardest challenge in the back line. The 25-year-old Pajaro, the now 21, soon-to-be 22-year-old Pelivanov, both with the task of hanging off Christian Cheney, who gets contact in the box, but can't hold on. Baquero maintains possession for Charlotte. Assist, circles for Jaime. It's cool in the air, but hot at the pitch on a 62-degree day. As it's down the line, Demick, he's alone, tries to center. Cheney out of range. Baquero the follow-up, but can't get the shot through. 10 minutes into the half, and we're already streaking. Spielman. Sorensen to center. This is bobbled. It's free, but Baquero couldn't get a touch as Aviles lunges out. Aviles did not play when these two went up against each other in May. That was Denzel Smith's opportunity in between the pipes, and it's been a rough go of it for Aviles. Has not seen a win in 8. Only part of the 13-game drought for AV Alta. He really has been the least of their problems, is Aviles, especially when in this 13-game run, AV Alta's been shut out 6 times. Good news for them today, not one of those days. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only source for engaging soccer talk, including USL Access on Tuesday nights. Hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. You would normally see Denzel Smith in between the pipes for Alta, but he is on international duty with his native Trinidad and Tobago, only 3 days shy of his 26th birthday. As this is loose, into the box, and scored! Ortiz off of the bench, and on the board. We're tied. It's 2-2. It took 3 minutes for Ortiz to strike, and we're equal at 57 minutes. What a juggle by Ortiz to get free, as Spielman could only pursue. Sorensen was behind. Spielman was caught up on Martinez, on Blancas, pardon, and that leaves Cruz by himself. Get the touch, open space, drill it, bottom corner. No doubt about it for Christian Ortiz. First goal in USL League One. He had 1 assist in the Jägermeister Cup in July against Monterey Bay. That accounts for his only goal contribution in his first pro season, as it's another Patero Carts goal. But we're even at 2-2 as Ortiz helps recover for Aviles. Three minutes after coming onto the pitch, Christian Ortiz coming in off of that right back spot. And AV Alta are now cooking with gas as it's sent deep towards Ortiz. Martinez. Attempted service. Desdune on the pivot. That's Alaribe, pardon. Desdune is back with Lay. Down outside the box, free kick, AV Alta. Omar assists. Getting the cut down. So much experience on the Charlotte side. Over 170 matches as a pro, including over 100 with Charlotte. He's one away from 110, if you want to be specific about it, across 5 years. But we've seen magic from the set piece before. If you look back specifically on their game in August against Texoma, a free kick opened up the comeback. Could a free kick complete it? 3 men stand on the ball. Blancas towards goal off the wall. Desdune hangs on with Ortiz. A lane might be open, but Baquero gets in the way. Desdune retreats back with Ramos towards the center stripe. Adewale doesn't let that one into the box. Pajaro's got to be careful. He's already been in some whistle trouble. And they're finally going to give him the card. That was one time too many. Pajaro's been off the hook quite a number of times, but right at the hour, that's the sign, enough's enough. A lot of chances to play the ball in, and then there's at least multiple ways you can go about that with Pajaro and Cheney on the last one. Early contact in the back, the swipe of the legs as Cheney was getting free. Regardless, also arguably overdue. Sorensen's cross interrupted Martinez. Eduardo Blancas, by the way, credited with the assist on the Ortiz goal. As Sorensen tight ropes the end line, centering. You had a man down in the box, but offside as well. All sorts of confusion in the AV Alta box. And then you have the quick restart because the ball never exited that far sideline. As they finally get that one out of play. Cerritos in a battle with Spielman. Spielman gets position, but Cerritos gets possession. Christian Ortiz. Blancas is all the way back. Trying to set something up. Desdune, cut down, no foul. Baquero squirts free. Charlotte ready for the counter. Juan David Moreno. Ramos catching up, as does Alaribe. Moreno, tumble in the box. They've been letting a lot of those fly today as Cheney comes in late. A lot of discourse on the Charlotte side. They thought they could have had a penalty multiple times over. A little bit of the reaching and grabbing by Steven Ramos on Moreno, and then this late try. Once again, it's that one-on-one with Cheney and Pajaro. Similar play styles, similar frames. The 6'3", 195 of Miguel Pajaro of AV Alta, the 6'2", 194 of Christian Cheney. If you're gonna pair anyone up on him, it might as well be Pajaro. And they've both been going at each other, something that we can expect, especially with a Charlotte side that had a very bitter taste in their mouth. They have the full confident belief that they had the better of Spokane last time out, which included 18 shots and 9 on target against Velocity FC. However, to despite the gigantic gap in XG. 2.4 for Charlotte, 0.4 for Spokane. However, they just couldn't get behind Carlos Marancio. Is one of the reasons why he was the player of the week in match week 31. The defensive efforts of Spokane and Marancio kept Charlotte at bay, especially after Velocity took that double yellow in the opening half an hour. And Jai keeps it in play. Adewale allows Dimmick to carry. Adewale just a couple days shy of turning 30 on the 14th. Moreno spilled, Baquero recovers, sends it across, Cheney's there, he takes a try, goes off a body, corner for Charlotte. So this was the chance for Charlotte. They wanted a foul, but the referee said play on, and that is a great block by Pajaro, getting the leg out to prevent the shot from coming through, and this will draw another corner for Charlotte. They've got 4 in this game, and another one for Chick-fil-A. Baquero again. Outswinger, chopped down. Only towards the near sideline where it's Sorensen. His try is kept by Aviles. Ever wanted to kick around professional soccer field or walk on the pitch hand in hand with a pro player? Here's your chance. Group outings will give everyone an unforgettable night with a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Visit charlotteindependence.com/groups for more details. Last chance before the Jacks wrap up their season next week against Chattanooga, their second to last match, their home finale a week from today against the Red Wolves before wrapping up their season on the road in Naples. And if you missed your chance for the Independents, there's plenty of Carolina Ascent games here too, I'm sure. Deep ball, held on Ortiz. He's got options. Lay is that. And we will have 3 subs coming up. And both Charlotte and Aviolta will make changes. So Tumi Moshabane will be the exchange for John Baquero. He leaves the pitch after a goal and an assist. That's another goal scorer who will exit the match also with Alexis Cerritos making his way towards the bench as Jimmy Villalobos, one of the many League One veterans on this side, comes in. Another one in Javier Mariona, the youngster. He actually set up that game winner for Cerritos as they come off for another, as it's another Atlas Chiropractic substitution. So you have all the changes on the sideline, and it's going to bring a lot of new elements into this match when you have guys like Jimmy Villalobos and Javier Mariona, both of them with multiple seasons in League One. For Mariona, it's his second year since his first last year, and for Jimmy Villalobos, he's been in League One since 2021 with the Red Wolves. Blancas back for Villalobos. Split to Ortiz. Blancas chips it, Spielman puts it out of play, and with 20 minutes remaining, it's the second corner for Aviolta. One of the big deficiencies for Aviolta has been the impact of substitutes. Brian Claben stated very bluntly, it was disappointing to have the subs maybe not in the role he expected to at times, but as of late, they've had to embrace it. As it's curled in, the header interrupted, and Cheney back on the defensive side will clear. It's been a huge fall from grace for these two as well, considering they were both at one point of the season number 2 seed in the league. For AV Alta, you have to look back midway through July, roughly around match week 17, when they were just one spot off the top of the table. For Charlotte, you have to look back at match week 15 at the end of June. And for a little while there, AV Alta and Charlotte were actually going back and forth as number 2 and number 3 for parts of July and June, before eventually their respective tailspins took them both out of the top 5. Blancas. Interrupted, Adewale comes in. A big acquisition since coming from Westchester last month. But his disruption does draw a third Chick-fil-A corner for AV Alta as Desdoun circles around. Moshabane up top, lay, low, not there. Second try from deep, and it's just missed. Mariona threatening on Amal Knight. I'm sure they've seen a good amount of each other last year when Mariona was a part of Fuego and when Knight was a part of Lexington. But a try for another goal, his first since September potentially, but not quite there. It's your experience on your schedule. Stay tuned in to Charlotte Independence channels to be the first to hear about mini plans. Independence, committed to keeping soccer accessible and affordable. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. Moshabane swirls around. Open, Sis. Sorensen's there, he comes in. Moshabane reaching, maintaining, and Jai pokes it ahead, and Cheney will get the clear space towards Dimmick and Jaime. Towards the box, Cheney headed down, but the bouncer is corralled by Aviles. 20 appearances for Carlos Aviles, 19 of them starts this year. Over 120 matches played in USL League One since his first season with North Texas back in 2019. One of the League One leaders for a team that is relatively full of youngsters, all things considered, for AV Alta. Either coming in fresh from the NCAA, from lower leagues in the US, whether that be NISA, League Two, or elsewhere. And even some guys coming in from overseas to get their legs wet in the US. Juan David Moreno and Christopher Jaime work to get it across the center line. Drops it, return, give and go. Jaime's got room. Sends it across, not there for Moshabane. Follow up, held on. Moshabane again. He's free, no one to target, and Jai settles. He wanted to try, but has a defender in his face. Moshabane just got barreled as he tried to keep that in play, but they'll give Aviles the goal kick instead. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. Villalobos launches. Ortiz gets around Sorensen. The left footer try is blocked by Sorensen. Ortiz just lost control on the bouncer. in the final 15. Brian Clavin has already burned off 4 of his subs in the second half in that first 25 or so minutes. Mike Jeffries only broken once. As Adewole comes in before Olaribe can. Cheney overhead. Jaime wins it back. Double team, loosens up Moreno. Mo Shabane. Into the box, left footer strike, but straight to Aviles.
Shot by number 21, Chumi Moshabane. Saved by Aviles.
Fans, come to American Legion Memorial Stadium October 17th. That's a week from today, next Friday, as the ride continues against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. First kick at 7, doors open at 6. What a matchup that's going to be against a Red Wolf side still chasing the top of the table. However, one Knox had the halftime lead against Portland Hearts of Pine, which might put those sights just slightly out of range, just a touch for the Wolves. But they only have 2 points to make up on one Knox. And it could be a chance for Chattanooga to take a stranglehold on the Player Shield race. Denzel Smith out on international duty to play against Bermuda in the World Cup qualifiers for AV Alta. Relying on a San Diego State Aztec and Jibril Dumbia. If anything were to come, Cerritos widens. Ramos. Mariona gets free. Mariona in the box, juggling through, takes a shot. No rebound as Knight pushed it away. And what a move by Jaime. Trying to get creative, but not quite there as Villalobos is able to close in. Here's Mariona again. Got buckled as clearance is sent for Cheney. This is only the second game in the last 6 where Charlotte had goals. They've been shut out 4 times in the 5 games prior to today. And not just the fact that they struggled to score goals within some of the games in the last stretch, but when you're not even getting goals, it just makes the job that much harder, especially when Amal Knight was playing well. It's just the offense was not. Holding off both Spokane and Knoxville was Knight to 1 goal across the last 2. And even allowed 2 against both Richmond and today against AV Alta. However, for the Richmond match where Amal Knight made his Charlotte debut, that was a game where Charlotte was up 3-1 and then held on. Jeffries ready to make more changes as Swebu Maru will be the change. And we'll have 2 changes up top as both Swebu Maru and Fabrice Inga are the changes, as Jaime and Moreno are the 2 to exit. Another Atlas Chiropractic substitution for Maru, one of the super subs. Second on the team in goals on 27 appearances in the regular season for Fabrice Inga. Only a week away from his 27th birthday. A lot of Libras on this roster. Sent to the box. Cheney. Clearance not there as Desdune gets stolen away. Cheney keeps it up. But Desdune is first. Knight curls it towards Inga. Deep. Aviles plays it out. Good thing it fell towards Villalobos. If everyone in blue got that, they might have gone for goal. A lot of the interesting points in our discussions with Brian Claiborne before this match was a lot of the verbiage that he actually used. He never said anything about if we make the playoffs, if we got out of this rut. He always used the word when. Spoke a lot to the belief he has in this team and what they can do. Desdude cuts it down. Villalobos aside. Ortiz widens. Gets around Inga. Ortiz in the box. Wide angle try. Blocked by Spielman, but still in place, so no corner. Moshabane reaching back. Lay disrupts. And one back by Avi Alta. Moshabane still trying to disrupt the flow for Alta. Blancas cuts through the D. Eduardo Blancas, wide angle, gets it across. Alaribe not there for the tap in. Knight was scrambling back. Alaribe was just short, but Desdude still keeps it. Not before it's Njai to clear. Instead, they'll walk it out. With Inga coming in to kind of occupy that left back spot that allows Sorensen to step up in the midfield. Moshabane tried to find a way to get it to Cheney, but that pass was deflected out for a fifth Jack's corner. Third of the second half for Chick-fil-A. But before we get that, Avi Alta will make some changes as well. Osvaldo Lay will be the fifth and final substitution for Brian Claiborne. Eric Seja will come in, 24 years old, from Truckee Community College in Nevada, where he is a Reno native. 30 appearances in League One for Seja. Served into the jumble. And Mariona walks away with it. Pastored by Sorensen as he is down. Watch the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USL Championship or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Stall at the center circle as Charlotte are just trying to get out, and Alta have had an offensive resurgence in the second half with 6 shot attempts versus their 3 in the first. Now up to 8, officially counting. Moshabane with Njai. Inga across, not there for Cheney. This should remain with Charlotte. Gatorade is the official sports drink provider of the Charlotte Independents. After a long day on the field or gym, make sure to replenish electrolytes with Gatorade's many flavored sports drinks. Moshabane, handball. This is the third of 3 consecutive road games for Avi Alta. Some of the lengths of their final 5 games in terms of the travel is just exhausting to even think about. When you go from, and this is including the tail end of September, you're going from LA to Naples, Florida. Then the next game you go to Sherman, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, back home to play Texoma in a 2 games in 3 weeks situation with them and the Pajaros of Texoma. And then they end their season in Portland in the Hearts of Pine up in Maine. Whoever is doing all the flight logs for AV Alta, they better be getting their air miles in. That is some heavy airline reward miles coming up for AV Alta. And Jai can't get there. Sorensen's down. Mariona jumps ahead. Blancas joins him, as does Ramos, and they'll retreat. If AV Alta can at the very least scrape points from this match, it's unfortunately a very familiar recipe that Charlotte fans have been exhausted to hear about, of the fact that they've dropped so many points from winning positions, whether that's wins to draws or even draws to losses at points during the year. The only trail Westchester and Texoma in the points dropped from winning spots. They're only half of what Westchester's done. There's a reason why Westchester was eliminated first. And then for Texoma, they're only 1 point behind them in that mark. As Sorensen gallops wide side, cuts in, he fires, and just missed. Sorensen saw the game winner, but could not execute when it mattered the most. Slipped past the double team of Ramos and Mariona, as Blancas is down on the far side. But what an excellent try for the 22-year-old left back, who has made his way into the midfield in his second season after starting his career in both USL Championship and MLS Next Pro with Philadelphia Union 2. Second season with the Jacks is Sorensen. But multiple times over, we've seen AV Alta come back and steal points at multiple spots in the season. You have a 3-3 game where they squandered a 2-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, pardon, for AV Alta, into a 3-2 gap against Madison where they took a tie there. You have, as recently as the last time out, down 1-0 against Texoma, got a draw in that match. And the most monumental of them, August 20th, down 3-0 on Texoma to only come to a 3-3 draw. As Moshabane, he's free, might be alone. Moshabane cuts across, but couldn't get the tap in, was Maru. But it does draw a Charlotte ball. Going quick, Moshabane, byline, cuts it, blocked away by AV Alta. Full sprint ahead, but not quite on the same wavelength as it's back to them all night. Aquafina, the official water and hydration partner of the Charlotte Independents. When game time heats up, cool down with Aquafina. Whistle drawn against the contact on Jimmy Villalobos. It was a 2-0 lead to open the first 36 minutes for the Independents. Both Becerra and Cheney get on the board respectively in the 25th and 36th. But just before the halftime break, it was Alexis Cerritos in the 42nd to cut the deficit to 2-1 at the halftime break. And then Christian Ortiz, 3 minutes after getting subbed into the game, equaled the game at 2 with assistance from Eduardo Blancas. Blancas, by the way, he's got 13 total goal contributions on the year in the regular season. Typically a goal scorer, but was a part of the setup to get Ortiz free. Inga. Njai. Moshabane pokes it back towards Sis as Spielman steps up from the center back to help out. A very short second half stoppage by Blue Cross Blue Shield NC, official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents. They make health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross NC as better care starts here. And a short stoppage, only 3 minutes. For Charlotte, they're just looking to find a way to escape from a drought of 6 winless in the last 7. They do not want to extend it to 7 of 8. And then for AV Alta, they're trying to escape the 13-game slide as it's centered, blocked away. Nice attempt by Ortiz. And Njai has Palavana breathing down his neck, and foul drawn against him. They normally say that the closer you get to the playoffs, especially in that final month of the season across basically every single sport, that's the time when the officials hold back a little bit. We're pretty much at 30 fouls at this point in 90-plus minutes. And at least in the case of today's game, that has not been the case at all. But for Charlotte, one of the big stories that they've had to deal with is game-winning and game-tying goals allowed in the final half an hour. They haven't gotten many of their own as of late. Could they find one here? Moshabane towards the box, overhead of Spielman. Towards the box, Dimmick, the head, Cheney's down, Swaybu Maru! The bell has not rung in stoppage time. Charlotte might have just won. The super sub, Swaybu Maru, comes through. And that is the first time in a long time, for the first time in forever, a game-winning goal in second half stoppage for Charlotte. They've given up late game winners, they've given up late game equalizers, but they finally get one of their own. They're back in the win column, and they might, just might, have saved their season with that goal brought to you by Batero Carts. Two points above number 9 were Charlotte heading into today. If that was the final action of the game, a 2-game lead on number 9 is paramount as a logjam in the box goes back up. Eduardo Blancas could maybe save something for Alta. Header in the box, still loose, in front, can't get it through. Another try, top of the box and missed.
Shot is wide, goal kick for the Jacks.
Mariona missed, as it is a Amal Knight goal kick. But what a try. You had Ramos in the mix. Seha was in there too. Mariona the final strike, but out of play it went. Charlotte survived the scare of the Antelope Valley. From 2 goals up to tie 2-2, they hang on and survive by a final score of 3-2. Suebu Maru, our Aquafina man of the match. Late game heroics in the 90+3. The assistance from Christian Cheney to get his 9th goal of the season is Maru for the 3-year sub. And our play of the match is brought to you by Novant Health. And it's none other than Maru. Loose in the box, off of the service. Everything in the area. Everyone was looking to Cheney, but they didn't find Maru. And then in the second half, Amal Knight had to come up big on the other end as well, as our save of the match is presented by Social Pet. So many chances. Javier Mariona working the byline. And it was a key save made, especially when you had so many bodies in the box. It's not about the save. It's about the fact that it was not available for the rebound, as our final in Charlotte is 3-2. Novant Health, proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents. With same day and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. Charlotte take the win 3-2 as we wrap up at American Legion Memorial Stadium on the other end of the break.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is every single time you take a bite, you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches. There's no touching it.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
What a game in Charlotte as the Jacks beat AV Alta by a final of 3-2. It started off with John Baquero. It ended with Suebu Maru, as you saw. That was the last time that Charlotte scored a game equalizer or a game winner beyond the hour since midway through July on the road against Madison, as Baquero gets our highlights started between Charlotte and AV Alta with 3 weeks left to go in the regular season. 25th minute is where we start. This is a beautiful service, by the way, by Amal Knight, and the header highest goal scorer on Charlotte in Maru, and he launches Charlotte into 37 points on the season. AV Alta still stuck at 32. Their unbeaten run extends to 14 with seven losses and 7 draws. But the good news for Charlotte, with Madison, despite the resurgence, and AV Alta, even though they lost today, Alta, this allows a chance for Charlotte to get a little bit of breathing room, especially for Madison, who have been streaking. For AV Alta, they are in trouble. But the key note here, with Charlotte winning, Texoma and Richmond, unfortunately for them, they have both been eliminated from the playoff race. The season is over for them. They still have 3 games left to go as Charlotte stay alive off of a whole slew of opportunities from AV Alta to take that game on its head. But we look at our full-time stats. Novant Health has those. And this is much different than what we saw in the first half of play. It was a very dominant first half by Charlotte. They wanted to put their stamp on the game early, get the early control, and ride things out. When they succeed and when they are winning, that is actually how they've done things, is get those early leads and just hang on by the end. AV Alta, they had a different approach. They were forced to come back from behind. They successfully got the tie, but not the winner when it's all said and done, as we wrap things up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. What a way to start match week 32 in USL League One. 3 matches left to go, and a fantastic match to get us started. For our entire USL League One and ESPN Plus crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Thanks for joining us. Charlotte win 3-2. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.